Hi, my name is Savon Rogers. I'm here with the English 1250 online class for Elements of Speech with Dr. Robinson. My audience today is...
My name is Trash World. I'm Montez Parker.
Khalil Youngblood.
Michelle Youngblood. Teddy Youngblood.
And here with us online we have...
Kanisha Williams.
Our recorder for today will also be...
Taquan Garrett.
Alright, let's get started. Today, my informative speech will be over the Black Lives Matter movement and how the media has negatively affected the whole movement as a whole. We're also going to talk about the All Lives Matter movement and their retaliation against the Black Lives Matter. First, we're going to start with the beginning. Well, my thesis is that the media has negatively affected the Black Lives Matter movement and is biased towards the white audience. The fuels also help the misunderstanding of the All Lives Matter movement retaliation. Slide, please. We're first going to start off with the history of the Black Lives Matter movement. Black Lives Matter movement started after 2012 when Trayvon Martin was viciously gunned down by George Zimmerman. After he was gunned down and he died, the trial went on and George Zimmerman was eventually acquitted of all charges. And Black Lives Matter was created to stand up against those unjust killings by not only vigilantes, but by police officers as well. The matters of social injustice are kind of what the Black Lives Matter began on. Social injustice has been going on now since about the 1930s, and there has to be somebody to stand up against it. The current statistic here on the slideshow from the Sentencing Project is telling about the lifetime likelihood imprisonment rate for all races and for 3 races and for both genders. The likelihood for a white man is 1 in 17. The likelihood for a Latino man is 1 in 6, but the likelihood for an African American man is 1 in 3. For women, it's much less. For white women, it's 1 in, I believe, 111. For Latino women, it's 1 in 45, and yet again, black women, 118. Which overall, all men is only 1 in 9, and all women are 1 in 56. And we believe that it's based off of media portrayal that this is why the statistic is so high against black people and African Americans as a whole. This is all been set up through, I think, through media bias-based outcomes. The media has actively portrayed black people in a certain sense to be criminals, to be not upright standing citizens, and just in general something to be looked at and to be scared against. A study by the Tapas Partnership showed that more than the media portrayed black men at more than 3 out of the 4 times portrayed them to be criminals or portrayed them to be in jail or to somewhere in that transition, somewhere along that spectrum, when in all actuality, we found out by one of the members, I believe, of the Huffington Post, black and Latinos only constituted half of the male population as of 2013. Now, how is it that black men and Latinos together make up less of the population than whites, but have been portrayed to be more violent and more dangerous than the ones that are actually, like I said, who actually take up the majority in prison? Slide, please. A couple of more media bias. So after Trayvon Martin was killed and his whole trial hit the news and began the spotlight, he was deemed as a thug, as a 17-year-old like punk. Just in general, it was a very negative thing against him. Whereas so far as Michael Brown, who was called a thug and was saying that he was misraised and just all of the negative slangs against him. And at the bottom, one of the other people, her name was Tamir Rice, she was also just a normal little child. Actually, was the age of 8 who believe just got killed during a police raid, and a lot of this did make her story did make national news, but for Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin, because it was black and white, it seemed to have made more news. And then recently you have Dylan Roof, from Charleston, South Carolina, to who he went into the church and killed 9 people, but CNN didn't label him as a thug. They labeled him as a misguided youth. Also, for other media biased opinions, for the guy who came in and killed the people in the movie theater, he killed 12 people and injured 70 people, but yet he still got to walk out alive. Dylan Roof killed 9 people and walked out alive. And more, there are more cases to where white people have killed multiple people and yet still have lived to tell the tale, and whereas the other black people who killed nobody and now have been slaughtered. And so now we're at the section for All Lives Matter. All Lives Matter started at one of the Black Lives Matter's chants, and somebody started to shout out All Lives Matter, which in all actuality, all lives do matter. But the topic had to be that it diminished what the Black Lives Matter movement stood for. All Lives Matter started with somebody, I guess, just being against what Black Lives Matter was against, or they wanted to broaden it out and open it. But we know all lives matter. It's it's a redundant statement to say that all lives matter, but as what was going on in the media lately, it doesn't seem as if the black lives were the ones that were really all that mattered. I believe in the All Lives Matter movement, and negatively affected the Black Lives Matter movement, and the ignorance behind it. It was started because of the media. The media made it seem as if All Lives Matter was this really great thing, to where it had actually a college president had wanted to really push for the All Lives Matter without even knowing the basis and when it had started. But like I said, in conclusion, all lives do matter, but we really want to just focus in on the black ones, because it seems as if the value of those lives have been unforgotten or either unrealized. So, thank you.